and good morning to people in India, and good evening to people in the United States. As IIT alumni, in different campuses and across different decades, we share a common bond, a shared experience. What does that include? One is science-based education. So we are focused on the fundamentals, and we do not do rote learning. We go for the fundamentals, and we can explore new ideas and new research opportunities. We learn by doing instead of just by book learning. And there's a residential campus. We are all together. There's great friendships. There's a lot of collaboration, and we learn from each other. And finally, there's the spirit of innovation and pursuit of excellence that ties us a can-do approach. So what we really get out of our education at IIT, it is to learn so we can explore new areas and new ideas. And we can address any problem, any issue, and innovate in any area, technology, business, or society. And we have alumni that are successful in each of these areas. Realizing our common bond and the shared experience and the idea that there will be synergies connecting alumni from different IITs together, we launched Pan IIT in 2002. It was not just me, it was a whole team. Whenever something good happens, it's always a good team. And teamwork is essential. And this quickly spread to India and to worldwide. Bill Gates was our first keynote speaker in the USA, and President Abdul Kalam was the first keynote in the first conference in India and New Delhi. And so we have come a long way in the last almost 20 years of Pan IIT's existence. Whether it's innovation, entrepreneurship, or corporate leadership, we need to focus on three things, which are absolutely essential: vision, passion, and action. First, you have to have a vision, an idea that develops into plans. It tells you about the goal and where you want to go. It's a dream. So dream big with audacious goals. And this vision will change over time. It's not a static thing. We learn from where we are going, and we adjust and do something different. At the same time, you have to have passion. Passion is what provides you with emotional energy. It provides you with the enthusiasm you need to have to overcome hurdles, obstacles, and setbacks. And there will be many in this journey of innovation or entrepreneurship. So do follow your passions. And with time, you may follow different passions. Do everything with gusto. Be inspired and inspire others. And the vision, passion need to be followed by action. This is true Karma Yoga. And we all will do well to remember from the Bhagavad Gita, Karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. That is, our focus is on action and not on the rewards. Also, there is a principle in Gita of Kaushalyam. That is a principle of excellence. Be the best you can be. Do the very best you can do. And the principle of teamwork is also in the Gita, which is in harmony with each other and with the environment. Remember, success is 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration. So there's a lot of hard work involved. Without action, you're just a dreamer. You're just dreaming. You're not doing things. Without vision, you're just drifting aimlessly. And without passion, you'll give up very soon. So all three things, vision, passion, and action are needed to be successful in innovation or entrepreneurship or making any change. In my own life, there have been many passions I have pursued. After graduating from IIT Kanpur in 1965, I came to MIT and I quickly got the idea that computers need to communicate with each other. I was passionate about it. I got involved, and the vision was that world's information can be accessed from anywhere more efficiently, and communication can be done by computers without centralized control. This was the basic idea. So I wrote a paper on computer communication. That's the action that followed. This caught the attention of Professor Licklider, a professor at MIT, who called me to his office and said, I'm working on getting computer network funded by ARPA, the Advanced Research Projects Agency of the Department of Defense. Would you like to come to me with the Pentagon? I'd never seen the Pentagon, so I quickly agreed. I said, it'll be a nice trip. So I was there at the Pentagon. They were deciding the specs for the bids going out to developing packet communication networks. One of the issues that came up was security. So I innocently asked the guy in the uniform who was sitting there, he was in the Air Force, hey, you don't want the Russians to know what we are doing. He said, no, he quipped. I don't want the army to know what the Air Force is doing. So this was the inter-service rivalry that they had at that time. Soon the ARPANET was ready in 1969 to connect the host computers to the nodes, the message processors. And I connected the MIT Multics computer network, and a bunch of us started the very first network working group with Vince Cerf as the chairman. And I started developing and we all started developing the TCP. It was true. I mean, it's just the atmosphere was so wonderful. People from different universities coming together, arguing with each other what a RUFNUM is, how the messages should communicate from hosts, how we should do these things. Very exciting. Soon after we started discussing applications, I became the chairman of the application, the file transfer protocol working group. And 50 years ago, I wrote the first version of the FTP, the file transfer protocol, which included email, 2 commands for email, mailing files, and mailing messages. And to give you some perspective, to going back in time, 2 megabyte main memory was a very mainframe big computer. The computers connected to the network only had 256 kilobyte of main memory. The storage that you have disk drive, there were no disks. What there were is magnetic tapes that you had to load. So you really need to get an idea of the picture, how we had to be very efficient in our coding as well as efficient in the way we designed the protocol. So that's why the @ sign was chosen. It was just one letter. It was easy, one letter to store, to separate host names with usernames. So username @ host name. So that's the genesis. It was being used by Ray Tomlinson at Bold, Beranek and Newman. I said, hey, that's a great idea. We should use it for the internet. And that has stayed around. FTP is no longer used very much. It was used a lot. Now we have much more efficient protocol because everything develops. And it's wonderful. We develop on the shoulder of others who have gone before us. And we had to be efficient. So this was real teamwork on the network working group, the first network working group. It was inventing the future together. Then around 1978, I became passionate about appropriate technology and rural development in India to serve in the villages. So I took a leave from Xerox Corporation and spent a year working in villages near Allahabad. Now it's called Prayag. It was most fascinating, fulfilling year for me. Improving education and healthcare by getting villages involved, starting balwadis and hospitals, installing biogas plants, windmills, and water seal latrines, nurturing village entrepreneurs, and providing vocational training to village women and youth. I learned so much in my 1 year, just learning about what real peoples, the poor people, I don't call them poor. They're economically disadvantaged in some fashion, but they're absolutely wonderful. It was a great year that I spent in 78 and 79. Next, I got involved with Earth Day 1990 in the United States and became passionate about the environment. Wrote a proposal to CEO of Xerox that started the environment leadership program. This was a job I would pay to do. In fact, most of the time where I worked in something, it was something that I would pay to do. I mean, you just become passionate and you say, hey, it doesn't matter what you're getting paid. That just feeds the family. But you want to do the thing because you really care about it and passionate about it. And the simple idea was that waste needs to be reduced and pollution is a big wasted resource. To empower the employees to make changes. So I didn't do much. The employees did it. My thing was to motivate them and to provide an environment where they could make these changes. And it was to reduce, reuse, and recycle that Xerox will save money. So I got on my soapbox trying to motivate employees. And I remember in one of the meetings in Rochester, New York. Now, Rochester, New York, it is freezing cold. I was talking about global warming. Somebody pipes in and says, hey, let there be global warming. I'm freezing my ass here in Rochester. So now we call this climate change. And in 5 years at the Environment Leadership Program, We reduced the waste and pollution at Xerox by 90%, to 10% it was, and saved Xerox over $1 billion. And this is really just following passion and working with people. They do the work. So teamwork, following the passion, putting the vision into action becomes very important. The next frontier for me in 1990s was entrepreneurship. As TIE, the Indus Entrepreneurs Group, was starting, I became passionate about it and started several successful companies, which are sold to public companies by the year 2000. And then I became passionate about IITs and Pan IIT, mentoring IIT alumni. Young alumni would come to me seeking advice in starting a company when they had an idea. This included Naveen Tiwari, who came to me, and we, work. And I'm glad he went back to India, created MMobi, a fantastic, fabulous success and company, which he'll talk about. But, I would often ask the coming in and young alumni, why do you want to start a company? Some of them will say, I want to make a lot of money. Okay. I would tell them, why do you want to make a lot of money? What would you do with it? Say, I'll retire and then I'll go to the beach. Okay. And, many of them have a successful company, but I've yet to see any of them go to the beach. What they do is after one company, they start a second one. I even know 2 people who are on their 4th companies in this time. But it becomes an obsession. I mean, they tell me they're having so much fun. Maybe Naveen can talk about the fun he has had and the challenges. So then I would say the point here is that different passions will unfold during our life. We just need to see the opportunities, seize them, and follow those passions. We have to have a solid, evolving vision and action to go with it. So here are some tips for you if you innovate, start companies, or lead them. First, remember the purpose of business is to serve society, to fulfill a customer need. Now, I asked this question. I was giving a lecture at Stanford Business School. I asked, how many of you will agree that purpose of business is to serve society? A couple of hands went up. The rest of them said, no, it's to make money. It's to make a profit. So I said, wrong. You don't have a business unless you're fulfilling a customer need and serving the society in some fashion. So it's remember, the purpose of business for innovation is to serve society. Second, have a vision for the company and be flexible to change it. Now, I don't know if you would know, the Hewlett-Packard, we started a company. Their first product was bowling foul line indicators. Okay? Now, come on. I mean, they started the thing. It didn't sell well. They said, what can we do? We know some things. So they started instrumentation. They started making instruments because that was an instrument to see if the foul line was crossed. So they got into instruments, which became very successful with the start of the Second World War. But the main success came with computers, Hewlett-Packard. So again, a company, an idea, a vision would change over time. Then be a clock builder. Don't be just a time teller, which means that work on ideas and do things that last, not just be a quick buck artist. Don't be fooled by tyranny of the odd. Many people say you can do this or you can do this. You can be an engineer or you can be a doctor. Hey, I can be an engineer at one time, but I can also be a successful doctor. I know many IITians who have then gone to medical school and become very successful doctors. Or some who were educated in some technology and now they're doing brain research at MIT. So what it is that do not have the tyranny of the odd. One can be a successful entrepreneur and also have good health and good family life. So strive for that balance. Now, I do hope that many more of you will follow your passion and create new technologies, start companies, lead companies, and serve society to create a better world. And I'll be all rooting for you. Thank you so much.